Ẹ mà ńlẹ́ níbẹ̀ yẹn ò nílé lóko. Ẹ sì kú dédé àsìkò yìí. Hello everyone, it's Aderonke again. I hope your day is going well. Today I'd like to talk about the word contronym and what it means. It's not really popular in day-to-day discussions. I think it's the people who study English that are familiar with terms like this, but contronyms exist in the Yoruba language as well as the English language, and I'd like to address a few of the English ones and then the Yoruba ones. What is contronym, first of all? A contronym is a word with two opposite meanings. A word with two opposite meanings, e.g., sanction, which can mean both a penalty for disobeying a law and the official permission or approval for an action. So it can be like a penalty for disobedience, but it can also be permission to do that action. So in that case, in that context, it would be that word sanction would be self-opposing. There are synonyms for the word. So if you don't hear contronym, with that definition, you may also hear this: autantonym or auto-antonym. This, when combined, so to say, when contracted, is autantonym. Autantonym. So auto-antonym, and then antagonym, or self-opposing word, or words like that. So an example of that is the word left. The word left can be self-opposing depending on the context. Left in she left suggests that she vacated the premises. She was no longer there. She excused herself. She's the last one left, however, suggests that she did not leave, that she remained there, and as a matter of fact, everyone else did, but she did not. This suggests that it left. This suggests that she did not. So in this context, the word left is used, same word. The English language is not tonal, so it's not left, it's this, by the same word, even in the Yoruba context, we're talking the same pronunciation, the same, of course, same pronunciation, the same tone marks. If it's the same pronunciation, it would have the same tone marks. If it has the same tone marks, then it's the same pronunciation, then it's the same word. It is the meanings that can vary. So she left, she's the last one left. Homonyms also exist, in which it would be the same word, the same pronunciation, the same spelling, the same tone marks, but they would have different meanings. But when you go further to say, okay, amongst these meanings that this word could have, which of the meanings sort of oppose each other? Which ones seem to not be the same as far as like opposite meanings are concerned? That is when you have contronyms or autantonyms or antagonyms. Another example is rent. To rent is something that a landlord can do, but it's also something that a resident or tenant can do. So you can rent your property, you can rent out your property, and someone else can rent it, so can rent your property. So if you say, I rented my home to the tourist, it suggests that you gave them your home for pay. If you say, the tourist rented my home, you're saying they took your home and paid you, took your home temporarily and paid you. So in this context, the rent here and the rent there oppose. They're not the same. I rented my home to the tourist rented my home. Another example is with the word transparent. Transparent. And in one context, it can be invisible In another context, it can be obvious. So if you say, isn't it transparent? Or isn't it transparent? Is it not invisible? It's not something that you can see easily. You're suggesting that it's not something that you can see or determine. But if you say, isn't it transparent? In another context, many times even influenced by the words, the sentences that you say before and the ones that you say after, you might be saying, isn't it obvious? Isn't it something that you can see? Isn't it clear? Could also be clear. So in that context, in this context, the word transparent sort of self-opposes. Amongst these two sentences, the word transparent opposes itself. So I'm going to give you some Yoruba examples within the Yoruba language. The first is with the word ni. 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 And ni can be to praise. It can also be shoot. Again, the exact opposite of praise might be something along the lines of ridicule. That is one probable opposite. But shoot somewhat negates or opposes praise. So it doesn't mean that it has to be like the exact opposite, like black and white, which are not necessarily opposites per se, but I guess we humans like to find exact opposites. So, or tall and short, or plump, fat and slim, or So anyway, praise or shoot, they oppose. Praise and shoot, actually. Praise and shoot. So if you say momanyi, you might be saying, I will shoot it. You might also be saying, I will praise him or her or it. Our pronouns are not gender differentiating. So you might be saying him or her or it. If you say, I will shoot him or her or it, it's correct. If you say, I will praise him or her or it, is also correct. I was going to say something. For shoot, if you want to make shoot a little bit more obvious, like, what I actually, the kind of yi that I intend to do is shoot, you can say, Moma yi nibon. Ibon is gone. So there it's clear cut that it's not praising that you intend to do, it is shooting that you intend to do. So you can use the word gun to make it like gone, to make it clear, easy to decipher. Momanyi. So ni here, praise shoot, see, opposing. Another is with the word je. Je can be to O, but it can also be win. Can be O, but it can also be win. So if you say ajeowo, you might be saying we hold money, but you can also be saying we won money. Can oppose itself. The word has the ability to be the opposite of what you would use it as in another context. It has the ability to switch forms. So ajeowo, we owe money. This one is a little bit more like, okay, the exact opposite, win, or we gained money, basically. Gain, win, still works. Ajeowo could be we hold money, could also be we gained money, opposing. Another is with the word, and je, talking about homonyms, words that are the same pronunciation, the same spelling, and by the same spelling, tone marks is a critical part of what makes it the same spelling. So the same tone marks in writing as well. J has different form. J is it. Sometimes it could be decompose or like rust. If you're talking about iron. So I think that also relates to the word eat, because it's like eating away. So what other meanings does the word J have? But it's a versatile word. Amongst the meanings, however, O and win are opposing, or O and gain, opposing. So another is with the word ku. Ku can be to blow or sift away, but it can also be to remain. Ku can be blow or sift away. It can also be remain. So if you say okudanu, you're saying it blew or sifted away. Let's say flour, for instance. You're working with flour. Maybe you're a baker or something. Maybe you put the flour somewhere and something just happened. Excuse me. Or maybe you're working in a flour factory or something. Basically, you're dealing with something that can blow or sift away. It blew or sifted away. Okudane. But if you say okusibe, you're saying it remains there. It's there. It's left there. It remains there. So it could be blow or sift away. It could be remain. It's there, as opposed to it blew away or it sifted away. Actually, let's just blew or sifted works. It blew away, sifted away. They're opposing. Cool. Another is with the word le. Le is also one of those words that has varied meanings. Sometimes it can be to display. In another context, if you say ole, let's say I have an injury on my face and it swells up. It can also be to swell up. Ole. Ekamile, imumile. Let's say I have something here and like maybe a boil or something. It just makes that, whatever that is, has just made that part of my body swell up. And I want to describe the state that part of my body is in. I would say ole, it's swollen. So to display, and the way that the traditional displays are done, you mount things. You typically have like a flat table that would be your stall essentially, and you would just, if you're selling peppers, you would just mount those peppers to make them more attractive, as opposed to like spreading them out on the floor. You will sort of just mount them. So this with le, which is swell up, and le as in display, our traditional ways of displaying, as opposed to the just arrange them on the shelf modern ways. They are not too far-fetched from each other. Another one is chase away, or send away from somewhere. It could also be to add to somewhere. So these are just like there are probably 5 or 6 meanings that the word le could have. But essentially, as far as like what we're discussing is concerned, contronyms are concerned, could be send away from or chase away from. It can also be add to. So if you say ole won lo, you're saying he or she. Again, the only reason why I'm not using they for o, because they would help me know that it's a gender neutral word, is to avoid you being confused with they, the plural, which is one. You would use one, see, like here, one when it's one person that is older than you, or 2 or more people, irrespective of their ages. Both of them might be younger than you, but they're 2 or more people. So that would be they. But o here would help you know that it's just one person that is younger than you or the same age as you. Ole won lo is he or she sent them away. And you may notice since I like to do the word for word things, I intentionally decided not to this time because it's just going to make the video terribly long. So I decided to just stick with the words and the examples as opposed to O is he or she, le is this, one is they or them, one, excuse me, is them. In this context, because it's in the object form, lo is go or like away, you know. So I intentionally decided not to do that. He or she sent them away. However, if you say one lessee, it means they increased. So if you're sending some people away from something, the opposite of that would be they're increasing. You're trying to reduce them by sending them away. You're trying to vacate them from whatever that is that you don't want them to be in. But add to suggests that you're adding them to it as opposed to chasing them away. So the meanings are opposing. He or she sent them away as opposed to one they see they increased. Another example is with the word do. Do is another word like that, like the ones we've been mentioning that has opposing meanings in and of itself, depending on the context. So happy or sweet or please, like pleased, in relation to pleasure or I've said happy, but basically these are the words that relate to do in one context. However, it could also be pain or hurt in another context. So it can be these and it can be that. Happy, sweet, pleased or please. It could also be pain or hurt. An example sentence for hurt would be odumi, odumi, odumi. Could be it hurt me or it pained me. However, in the opposing context, you could say odumomi ninu, odumomi ninu, odumomi ninu. It made me happy. Odumomi ninu, odumomi ninu. Odumi, it hurt me. Odumomi ninu, it made me happy. Odumi, it hurt or pained me. Odumomi ninu, it made me happy. So opposing. Another word is pa, and pa is the most versatile Yoruba verb. I just realized that there are certain, and I don't know if I noted it, but I remembered another context that pa could fit in, and I'm going to have to check the pa video, the video that I made on pa, if I included that one. I probably did not, but I searched. I did my best to try to find what Yoruba verb is the most versatile, which one is the most, maybe not necessarily, it might even be the most common, considering the many contexts that it is. Well, it might not be, because je would be one of the common ones. Je, which is eat, or we, which is bath or bathe. But it's the most versatile as far as meanings are concerned. Pa can be kill. It can also be hatch, in the context of hatching eggs and bringing eggs to life. So, okpa omoe, okpa omoe, okpa omoe, okpa omoe. Pa can be kill, can be hatch. You might be saying he or, well, she, since we will be referring to the N, she hatched her children from the eggs. It's obvious with the word hatch. She hatched her children. It can also be she killed her children, or she murdered her children, or he killed his children. Our pronouns are not gender differentiating, remember. In whatever form, the subject form, the object form, the subobject form, whatever form, they're not gender differentiating. It can also be he killed his children, but it can also be she killed her children as well, or he hatched his children. I don't know if they're able to do that. I don't know if the cocks are able to do that though. I think it's the ants that do the egg hatching. So, but anyway, opa omore. The reason I put this in, I don't know if the okay, no, it's the first one like that is, you can say omore and you can say omoe. They're just dialectically different. Well, re was the original version for any dialect, but certain dialects got rid of the ri and other dialects did not. So this is the word essentially, but some dialects have in recent millenniums just gotten rid of these. By recent, I don't know if there are any recent millenniums. I mean, if it is millenniums, like at least 5 millenniums old, that this has started to exist, then I don't think it's recent. That's a long time. But since its inception, some have just not gotten rid of this. So, okpaomoe works, okpaomore, the original works. So, atch, kill, opposing. Another is ko. And this one is particularly interesting to me because, it just sort of insinuates that teaching and learning are not exactly mutually exclusive as far as importance or worth is concerned, per the Yoruba mindset or approach. If you say mo fe ko eko, ko is teach, it's also learn. Teach and learn are not exactly opposite. Like, it has to be within a context. It's not immediate. The exact opposite of learn something would be sort of to lose that information. So, but when you teach, you're not necessarily losing information. So that's why I said it's not immediately like self-opposing. But it can oppose, these words can oppose each other because one is the giver, one is the recipient. So there's a difference, an opposing thing to it. But anyway, mo fe ko eko can be I want to teach a lesson. It can also be I want to learn a lesson. I want to teach a lesson. I want to learn a lesson. So different, opposing. Mo fe ko eko, I want to teach a lesson. I want to learn a lesson. Another is with the word ogun and ogun. In the beginning, I don't know, I have much of I'm only like sure of things that are millenniums old. I don't know, like in the beginning, like, I'm just going to say what I know and I'm really sure of. Ogun seem to be what charm or like juju, or could even be talisman if it's like the ones that are intended to, again, good and bad are subjective, right? What is good to you, what is intended for your own protection may be to harm somebody else, may possibly harm somebody else in some way. So there's sort of like a philosophical dilemma between what is good and what is bad. But ogun seem to be what charm or juju or talisman or whatever would be called. And then, sorry, this is ogun. This is ogun. Ogun. Do do do. This is redodo. Ogun. Ogun. So medicine or antidote or like drug or pill, or not all ogun is bad. So sometimes it's to protect, sometimes it is to attack attackers, or basically like with the traditional ones though, like I don't think we made charms to intentionally hurt people. The first forms of charms, or like juju, if you want to use that word, were the ones that would sort of return whatever you do to somebody else to you. So basically, like if you shoot at somebody, the bullet will come back to you instead. So those were all these dark kinds of ogun. So it seemed like this ogun was like charm or juju, and ogun seemed to be like medicine or antidote. But as time went on, it just seemed like they kind of just became interchangeable. You know, it seems one contributing factor would have been maybe writing, because this was how in the first Yoruba dictionary that Ajayi Crowther made, this was how we wrote it. So wrote both the medicine and the antidote and the charm and the juju and the whatever. This was how we wrote, not differentiating them like this. So I suppose there's also a dialectical thing to it, in which, like, in some dialects for medicine or antidote, they might say ogun. In some, they might say ogun. In some dialects for charm or juju, they might say ogun. For medicine or antidote, they might say ogun as well. So there's sort of like a dialectical thing to it. Somehow both words have just become interchangeable. Like, both words can now mean like both. Really. You know, it seems from recent trends. So ogun can both be medicine or antidote or charm or juju. Now it's, I don't know, there's just like a general confusion in writing and speaking with the dialectical factor and the writing factor, so much so that it's just like, okay, if you're saying ogun, what I just have to watch for is the context that you're using it in, to know which it is that you're referring to. If you're saying ogun, I just have to watch out for the context. So interchangeable. If you believe that, if you subscribe to that, and it seems like the world is not really waiting for you to subscribe to it, it seems to be the case, then if you say ogun, you might be saying like juju or talisman or charm. Again, they're not exactly opposing. It is like within a certain context that they might oppose. Like if you're using it in the context of somebody as being jinxed or is under a spell or something, as opposed to like ogun as in the medicine or the antidote, you know, then you could say ogun ti mumi. Ogun ti mumi, which would be I'm under a spell or I'm being affected by charm or juju. And if you say efumi ni ogun re, efumi ni ogun re, or ogun e, efumi logun e, efumi ni ogun e, you might be saying give me its antidote, or give me its medicine, or give me its drug. Or especially if you're saying both together. Let's say you say this first sentence, I didn't intend it to be like both to come after each other, but let's say you're speaking and you say ogun ti mumi, efumi logun, you might be saying I'm under a spell, I'm under some kind of spiritual attack extensively. If you use it extensively in that negative context, efumi ni ogun would then be give me its drug, or give me its antidote, or give me its solution, give me its medicine. And if you're using ogun instead, same thing. Ogun ti mú mi, ẹ fún mi ní ogun ẹ̀. If you say ogun ti mú mi, works. If you say ogun ti mú mi, works. If you say ẹ fún mi ní ogun rẹ̀, or ẹ fún mi ní ogun ẹ̀, works. If you say ẹ fún mi ní ogun ẹ̀, or if you say ẹ fún mi lóògùn ẹ̀, if you combine this, I'm so used to combinations. Ẹ fún mi ní ogun ẹ̀, ẹ fún mi ní ogun rẹ̀, ẹ fún mi ní ogun rẹ̀, ẹ fún mi lóògùn ẹ̀. Ẹ fún mi ní, let's not combine. Ẹ fún mi ní ogun ẹ̀, ẹ fún mi ní ogun ẹ̀. Then you're saying give me its drug or its antidote. This is the 8th example. The 9th, I'm going to do 10, and I'm going to let you comment below and tell me what you think. Give you opportunities to also contribute. And once I have enough I will respond to your comments and let you know if I think that works as far as the same word, the same tone. Again, mind you, the same word is the same tone mark, the same everything. It's not the same. Bo is cover. Bo is pill. So you can't say, I'm just going to ignore the tone marks and assume that because they have the same base letters, B and O, it's the same word. No. Bo can be to remove or take off. It can also be to maintain or nourish or feed, removing something from you, like your clothes, opposes bo in the sense of nourishing something, feeding it, keeping it close to you. Mo bo omore is I nourished his or a child. Or mo bo omoe. Actually, you can just, again, I've told you. Mo bo omoe, I nourished his or a child, as opposed to mo bo ashoe, I removed his or her clothes. So you kept one close and nursed it and nourished it. Could also be you removed his or her clothes. Opposing meanings as far as use is concerned. Mo bo mwe, I nourished or nurtured. Let's just go with nourished, because actually nurture also works. I nurtured his or a child. Actually, nurture works perfectly. I nurtured his or a child as opposed to I removed his or her clothes. Another is bo. Bo. And this would be the last one for now. If I get many, maybe after interacting with a couple of people that might have some ideas, if I get some more, then once I have like 5 or 10, I'm just going to make a second part of this video. Eshishiti bo. Bo can be cover or protect. It can also be overwhelm or attack or rush. Can be cover or protect. It can also be overwhelm or attack or rush. If you say, if you're referring to your hair and you say eshishiti bo or psoriasis in the extreme form, but like eshishi dandruff, you say eshishiti bo, eshishiti bo, eshishiti bo, eshishiti bo. You're saying dandruff has overwhelmed it, has covered it, has attacked it, my hair, and now it's starting to, it's literally tearing the hair off from the follicles, like dandruff would typically do, make you lose your hair. In extreme cases, does it? I suppose it does. Ajerun is also called ajerun. So yeah, I don't even need to search that. Obviously it does. Eshishitibo, dandruff has overwhelmed it. In a different context, if you say da asho bo me, you're saying cover me with a cloth. Basically, like, how do I put it in its most English form? Like maybe something along the lines of talk me in. Talk me in. That's the posh version of cover me with a cloth or with my cover cloth. Eshishitibo would be dandruff has overwhelmed it, has attacked it, has rushed it. So opposing. This suggests attack, or like not in just attack. This suggests cover. Bo can also be protect. If you say ma bo me, don't protect me, just say it as it is. Ma bo me. Don't protect me, don't. Another word that bo would have would be like cover, as in, or like hide, actually hide, so those are the meanings. But the ones that are opposing amongst its meanings are the cover / protect versus the overwhelm or attack or rush. And that's it for now. Again, I'm very much interested in your suggestions, in what you think, what your ideas are. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day, and bye for now. Oh, and I did this the last video. just remembered something to say. If you would like to join my Patreon, where I post quite frequently, please check it out. The link is in the description. If you'd like to join my channel and support my work, there are perks for doing so. If you click the join button, or if you're watching from a mobile device, if you go to the description, you'll find the link. I encourage you to join. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day, and bye for now.